Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lux series. My name is Ancient Angel. Here with me is the Nerds Corner, and we are back. It's week 3 of this group stage, and we've got a pretty nice game. I think this is a respectable matchup today between Interscope and ASTANE. Nerds, you want to try and just build some hype for me into this series?
Well, it's gonna be a battle of a team that is a dark horse. We don't know too much about them, and a team that has been dominating. Interscope is currently 2-0, and Astain is just a question mark on the board, meaning that Astain has the possibility to upset one of the leaders of Group B, or Interscope is going to be crowned the champions yet again. They're going to have a fat donut on that loss streak, winning 3 in a row so far on week number 3.
I like it. And you want to know how we figure out who's in the lead or what is going to happen in the series? The first step is with those maps. So you can kind of just run into those map picks really quick. We can get that out of the way for you. And we'll be able to kind of talk about the battlefields that we're going to be saying here today. And look at that. Lotus map 1, Sunset for that second. And if we need it, Abyss will be there for the decider. This feels like a kind of interesting map pool because
Oh yeah.
this is one of the last kind of times we're going to be really seeing Lotus in the map pool for a little bit, right? It's going to be leaving alongside Icebox to welcome in Split and then Pearl. Never forget, we love Pearl. But but yeah, so I'm kind of interested kind of just talking about Lotus because I feel like there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to just pick this map solely because they don't want to leave anything on the field, right? You want to just get everything about Lotus out because you're not like all the strats that you might have cooked up for this map, they're going to be basically worthless once it's out of the pool.
Oh yeah, and interestingly enough, right? Okay, Lotus going out makes sense. I haven't really even seeing Icebox share the same love. It's kind of sad because I would love to see an Icebox thrown in the mix, but no one. I don't think anyone. I think everyone's happy about that. They're like, oh yeah, oh oof, it's gone. We're gonna go to warmer climates here. But I will agree, Lotus is one of those maps. The second 3-site map. It's been a staple in a lot of tier 3 and tier 2 Valorant where teams really enjoy playing on it. It's like Haven, in the tier in the fact that people will pick it up kind of as a second map. But Lotus as the first to be predicted, an immediate lock-in for ASTANE. They're running a really standard comp that we've seen time and time again on Lotus.
Yeah, it's just that simple, like double initiator. You're running the fade breach. You want to get those stuns out, right? Kind of brawly-esque sort of comp. Something interesting on the side of Interscope is the Jay deadlock pick. And we know that Jay likes to pick into this deadlock a lot. But something that I find quite interesting is the fact that you're running deadlock on Lotus.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it before, right? I've seen FlyQuest run something like this where you run the deadlock and you try and play for that stall kind of idea where you just try and bait out the execute all of that bursting utility. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this roster of Interscope chooses to play this, because based on what we've seen so far from them in this group stage, it really hasn't been high level macro tactics. It's been more about individualistic kind of synergistic calling.
And that's the thing that I find interesting. They were hovering a also double Senti comp, and Destroyer switching to the Gecko. It almost feels like they're kind of, figuring out, all right, how are we going to best suit this to ASTANE, and how are we going to play off of them? I think the comps are going to get locked in there. We saw a Fade, a Gecko, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, near the very end. And they locked in the deadlock before we even had the question mark. So they're going to be running with it. I mean, I got to toss it to you, Ancient. What do you think? How do you think they're going to be placing that utility? How do you think they're going to be using it?
In terms of the deadlock, I would
Yeah,
imagine it would be kind of, that's tough because
I know, right?
there are two different ways that you can play the deadlock, right? You can play it the way that I was talking about it, or you can kind of treat the deadlock like a more aggressive version of a sentinel, right? Like you can kind of try and use it to get a leg up on your opponents and really fight for some space. I don't necessarily know if that's what Interscope is going to do, but if I had to guess, it'd probably be more of like the stally, like, pick and leave style of defense. But it's really going to be interesting because this is so far Jay's only played agent in Lux series. So regardless, we're gonna get a pretty good idea of how he's gonna want to play Deadlock in general.
I think they're like tenets where they're just like super locked in on one agent.
It might just be.
Probably the case. As things get started, it just seems like a classic default, sending the Sentinel to lurk around. Something this comp is really good at is allowing for those 1-2-2 splits. They're going to use the utility to go together, and Rabbit's going to find the first.
Find that first onto B. It's an immediate kind of frag out from Rabbit, but there's all of that utility. That grab net goes in. It kind of stuns down this Raze, and you can see it's all of this utility, and it starts with Rabbit finding another one and a third as well. Rilakkuma and Jay are gone. Destroyer able to respond one back onto that Raze. So thankfully for Interscope, you are in this 2v4, which isn't great, but it could be worse.
It happens like that sometimes. They still have... no, they don't. I was gonna say a Destroyer. I wonder if they had their Dizzy to at least blind some of these players, but they don't. So it's gonna be a bit of a wash, especially with UA going down off the rip. Wingman probably the last Hail Mary attempt here, but it's gonna get immediately destroyed.
Bless now just tapping away, gonna take care of Destroyer, and that is a nice little pistol round for ASTANE, all kind of wrapped up in a bow. And you can kind of see just the kind of level that ASTANE has with their roster, where you're running this kind of normal comp and you're just as a team all just doing things super easily. We say, you know what, we're gonna split in towards B, we're gonna kind of send in that Raze, force those fights. Rabbit finds 3, and then hey, Bless can just pick it up from the back line after everything's said and done. When the spike's down, you can clean up that post plant. You can find yourself with a pistol round win.
Okay, just leaving a trip right now here. They're playing for Mound. They go back, but it might be a little late. Nope, Rabbit's gonna bite it. The tortoise and the hare, and it seems like they're a bit faster in this scenario. They do have better weapons, so it makes sense, but I'm surprised Spook did... Fade have a weapon? I thought Spook would pick it up.
What? I don't know. They might have done more of like an FPX buy where you have 2 players on the pistols. So if that was the case, then pistol gained. But hey, I mean, this is a fight towards A, and they're already out, and Jay can't find a thing. Just swarmed down.
No.
Oh,
I mean, it makes sense. Oh, wait, but UA is bringing it back.
Whoa!
The double found. The potential is here. Wait, it's possible. Right until that whiff. Wait, UA almost brought it back, but almost doesn't count when reality sets in.
I have money.
Yes, Yui eventually does fall. And it's ironically enough, right? The sheriff falls to the ghost. I think the key thing there. Look at this. Like you're going, you think, oh wait, he's got, you know, they got the sheriff, and then oh nope, the ghost wins. So Spook is able to pick that up, and that's huge, right? Because if you're Interscope and you win that second round, you destroy ASTANE's economy. And it's not like ASTANE is in a great spot economically. You can see they're running in this round with like 2 stingers, and everyone's basically on light shields. So this is not ideal by any means, but you can definitely still get something done here if you're ASTANE.
Oh, the showstopper's already out, but it's immediately gonna get stomped by Rilakkuma.
It's completely gone. That huge ult, but there's that trade back from Rue and Garpa. They're able to stabilize things for ASTANE, but there's UA quick for the response, turning things into a 3-on-3, and that spike is dropped. Interscope, they have full control.
Good positioning here. The decay is gonna go out. The fights are there. Rue, I believe, playing recovery. On that spike, Rilakkuma pushes through, gets the triple.
Oh my god!
It was so close. It was down to a 1v1, which honestly, Bless could have won. But unfortunately, I mean, call it a blessing or a curse. It's definitely not a blessing for Bless. ASTANE is down in the round.
ASTANE down. Interscope, that's a huge round to pick up, right? You don't want ASTANE winning that bonus, but that was so costly. I mean, you have Destroyer on a Bucky now. Like, that alone is a victory for ASTANE. You went into that round with, like, 3 stingers, and you can leave that round going, yeah, we destroyed Interscope's economy. Like, they have nothing left to buy. I mean, the only thing that Interscope have going for them is they're kind of close to a lot of ults.
True, and Rabbit doesn't have theirs. Rabbit's immediately gonna grab control and take the fight. They win it onto UA, and that's a rifle already out. And the rifle, by the way, was out of position.
Oh, what a shot by Rabbit, just continuing to frag into sight. And now at this point, in the 2v5, Destroyer Let's see what that Bucky can do. There's that swing by Rue, but Rue gets the kill anyways. And now it's Dale. You saw a Bucky. Now it's time for a Judge. And Dale completely not ready for that wide swing by Bless. You're too far away. That Judge is not going to do a thing.
We just gotta. The question has to be asked: what can you do, Rue? And it seems like Rue can do you, as they absolutely won out there. Overall, though, ASTANE right now is looking pretty comfortable. They were kind of the question mark going into this, and they have shown us that they are ready to fight up against Interscope.
The interesting thing now for Interscope is you're back on weapons and you're starting to get to some more powerful ults, right? You have the not dead yet from Rilakkuma. You're going to start to get towards other things, but that might not even matter if Yui just dies immediately, but thankfully that's not the case. He's able to find 2!
Oh! I mean, Rue gets the trade, so it's possible ASTANE having 3 players up and Adam at this point. Interscope does need to win this round so they can try and bring it back. A pivot towards the B site imminent here.
Yeah, not only is that a pivot towards the B site, but it's an empty B site, right? So you can get that plant down for free, 3v4 retake. You still have both initiators alive.
Oh.
If you actually want to go pushing here, that C site is also completely open.
And they leave Rue. Oh, the
my-
crossfire set up here. The flash. Garpa picks up another. Not dead yet, but look at the positioning. Garpa gets the triple. And it's almost locked. Yeah.
Oh my god. What a good crossfire from ASTANE. They say, you know what? We could go all the way to C, but we know they're going to start to rotate. They're going to get suspicious that we took that A main control and we're not capitalizing onto the site. So we go towards B. All of a sudden, Interscope, they're going to start getting a little suspicious. They're going, where is this team at? Where is ASTANE? Let's start rotating. They all go through Link and they funnel themselves directly into that ASTANE crossfire. Beautifully played from them to earn that 4th round. And now look, Interscope on nothing. A Guardian, a Marshall, a Bucky, and a Jet ult.
I mean, hey, don't discredit the Jet ult. UA has been popping off with these firsts. Finds one onto Bless, but immediately traded. And nonetheless, they still do some damage.
Do a lot of damage, right? You're able to take care of those smokes from Bless. And not only that, Bless has been a hugely involved player so far in this game. And the next one, in terms of the defenders that's looking to try and step up and get really involved, would have been Rilakkuma, but eventually it's going to be Dale who swings into the action of Spook next as this B site becomes completely under siege. A crossfire held and a shot taken from Dale. And now, as Rue gets that trade, it's a 3-on-3, but Garpa's looking to stick that plant.
Gets paint shelled out of position. Destroyer gets traded out with the 1-for-1. The spike is down, and ASTANE has been having a hard time of this, even though they are the ones on the statistically upper foot.
Rilakkuma?
Oh,
Okay, 1v1, and they just with the classic. Are you kidding me?
Free gun
on a flank.
Free gun, by the way. Free gun, Rilakkuma. Free gun.
Checked.
Thrifty round win, 6th round down, and even though ASTANE is up in the rounds, it's still not over. Interscope showcasing, not only just individual prowess on each of their players like UA at the start, but Rilakkuma, talk about impact frags. You can't have a better impact than not winning a round with a classic.
Yeah, a 2v1 clutch, mind you, with a classic. And the other thing as well is you have to kind of give credit to Rilakkuma, because that's a play that's like so weird it works, because you're flanking into B, but you don't go through the C door. You go all the way down through spawn, so there's no way that ASTANE wants to check that, and all of a sudden you're behind them with a classic. You get both of those kills, and you're starting to build a little bit of momentum for your team, because Yui can now start off with a frag onto Bless again.
Oh, double fade ultimates. The nightmares are out and the dreams get set as Rabbit takes an eternal nap. Garp with the trade. It's possible here. Refresh their HP and the positioning can happen. There's so many ultimates just being dumped in this round. Rilakkuma with a 3-piece. It's going to leave Spook in a 1v4.
1v4 for the one player on ASTANE still left. He takes out Destroyer, but the swing from Rilakkuma is there. That's a 4K out from the Clove to bring the lead for ASTANE to 1 measly round. Interscope, the last 2 in a row. Hopefully some momentum starting to be built now, especially because look at that. You got a Thrash online.
I just want to say, right? Rilakkuma and Yue have just been hand in hand, kind of leading the kills here. The kill participation for the rest of the roster isn't there, but hey, if you could set up your carries, then why not go for it?
Especially because it's a Clove and a Jet too, right? Like two typically pretty selfish frag heavy characters. That's what you'd want to see. But hey, Jay wants in on the action as well. Although Destroyer falls over towards B, but when you get smacked down by Garpa like that, not only does that C site become fully open, but those sonic sensors on B also are now down. So this is a really hard defense. But Dale looking to try and recover, and there's the frag from Rilakkuma as well. It does get traded out, so now Interscope player advantage thanks to that not dead yet.
Oh, and this is gonna be the side take. Rilakkuma sending the decay out. They need to find a kill. A really solid tether. The timing is really close. Rilakkuma finds the tree piece to lock it in. The timing was tight there.
It was tight, but they got it, right? You know, like we can defuse a spike with a couple milliseconds. We can live a not dead yet with just a couple milliseconds. Look at the timing on this, right? Just wrapping around the bend right here until all of a sudden barely enough time, but you get those kills and then you can just continue to frag out. It's a great display from Rilakkuma. 14 and 7, a KD of 2.
Double it up right now. And you gotta say it, right? This is Interscope's map pick. At the beginning, they were showing signs of weakness, but they bring it back here fairly quickly.
Not only do they bring it back, right? Like, this is an attacker-sided map, and all the rounds that you've won have all been gun rounds. You're looking real solid here.
I was in Interscope shoes, I would be very happy about it, but this is gonna be rough. Not on the ultimate yet for Rabbit. But they're starting to charge it up. At least they're thinking about it.
They rotate here. There's no way you want to just try and run into that again. Surely, you know, Interscope, you know, they're going to have at least another player there. It's not just the Fade alone on C. So, you know, start to make your way somewhere else. But unfortunately, you can escape the Fade, but now you're running into Yue.
And Yue has been kind of a raid boss for them. You got to try and take them down or at least push them back. But look who's on the plate. Dale managing to grab a double as well. That's really good for them because now ASTANE is really just pressured in. They're getting pinched so hard here.
Yeah, oh, Dale just going to keep fragging. You want to keep finding more, and eventually those frags will come through, but it's not from Dale, it's from Destroyer. Destroying the back line, and there's Dale eventually coming in with that three-piece. Garpa's gone and out of this round. And Interscope, now they're taking the lead. 4 of the last rounds have gone their way, out of 4.
Unfortunate panic ult there from Garpa.
Yeah, unlucky. 9.0. Gone.
Yeah, that's the thing that's getting me right here. Because that panic ult, I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. Garp's trying to like help the rest of the team, but
yeah,
you know, the economy's rough. You have ultimates to try and bring your momentum back in. They have yet to win in the past 5 rounds. They've lost them. Sure, they won 4 at the start, but if it becomes a 8-4, even 7-5 here, that's not good. They're on sheriffs. Oh no.
Rilakkuma and Yue, the 2 raid bosses, just continuing to do what they do best and just start killing that Op and that Vandal, making every bullet count. And there's Garpa running into the smoke. Hey, that's something. At least you're doing a little bit of damage in the 3v3 now, but Destroyer, whew, barely alive. Half HP off the back of that aftershock as that C site's going to get ran towards and ran into. And that plant should be able to go down for ASTANE.
Oh, it seems like Garpa is just going to wait back here as well. Spike goes down. Garpa gets a 3K.
What?
Finally, someone's taking them down. They have sheriffs here. I was ready to discredit them, but Bless has got himself a gift from the heavens above. Not only is it a new skin, but it's also a new head to find. Dale, last player standing in the Interscope, is now in the tough spot here. ASTANE has weapons. I mean, a Stinger granted, but Bless has a Vandal as well.
That Vandal's good, and so is that smoke, so Bless can just headshot away. And there you go. After 4 rounds of failing to find something, ASTANE, they eventually sit down with a bunch of sheriffs and a Stinger and go, wait a minute, we can play Valorant. We can shoot heads, and they do it perfectly. Great timings, gets them 5-5, And now, hey, you can get this half back on track. 7-5 half, nothing to be ashamed of at all.
They heard me being like, oh, 4 rounds in a row and all that other fun stuff. They heard me saying that and they were like, okay, wait, all right.
Let's stop trolling.
Let's stop beaming around. We gotta bounce back. Well, fair.
Oh, great peek.
Speaking of
Rabbit.
bouncing back,
Yeah.
Rabbit.
Literally.
Yep.
Just hopping their way to an entry kill, but that's huge, right? First blood, it forces all of these rotations around from Interscope, and now you can see, right? They're headed towards that C site. Actually, everyone in the server everyone's kind of aware of what is expected or what is to be beholden for us above the server. But overall, do you really want to try and commit to this into the UE op?
I would not. Oh, but the timing is found regardless. You ain't gonna win out. No. Rabbit's gonna take them down on a hot foot. Call it lucky, call it whatever you'd like, but they managed to get in and win the fights. E-Boy Destroyer is gonna be the last player standing here. They want to see what they can do, but it's not gonna be much. It's a 1v4. They have to ace clutch here.
You have to ace clutch, but I mean, realistically, if you're Destroyer, something tells me this is gonna be a save. You just you hop your way up towards the defender spawn, and you just say, yeah, you know what? Let me just walk away. Let me just look towards stairs because I know they're gonna start hunting me, and something tells me that we might see a kill to the back of the head.
Yeah, it just feels like a timing here. Either one of the ASTANE players is about to just randomly go down, or oh no, Destroyer.
Okay, well,
the one.
Yeah. Oh, shot's a little scary. Oh,
the crouching and like the wibble wobble is so funny.
I mean, listen, Rabbit definitely mobile in that gunfight. Did not want to sit still, and I guess a good little reward. You get the kill, all of those guns out of the hands of the Interscope players, and if you're ASTANE, this is a great way to end the half, right? If you can end things off, getting 3 rounds in a row, it looks good. You're able to kind of recollect. Who cares that you lost 4 in a row, right?
Oh, yeah.
You ended the half with a lead.
Yeah. I mean, 5-7 here. I called it. Like, they're hoping, the Interscope is hoping for it, but it seems like ASTANE's the one to grab it.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know how many hot foot jokes I can make before it just becomes like, they're starting off strong. The first bloods are a huge indicator of how you're going to win the round, and Rabbit's just been grabbing all of them.
Rabbit just making the most of things here. Absolutely wants to win out this half, even if just by a hair. Rue finds real Akuma, but there's Dale, J, Bless, and Rue. All 4, now 5 with Destroyer.
Oh no.
Fragging their way into the server, but look at that. Spook says, you didn't die to the back last time, but we're making sure that it happens once, at least before the end of the half. So ASTANE, they end things with a lead, and now we swap over.
I just want to say Spook is such a good name for a lurking sentinel, because you just walk, it's like, boo, Spook.
Oh.
Definitely scared Destroyer there. You gotta admit, like that's probably spooked them.
And we're approaching Halloween.
True. True. Tis the season, right?
Does that mean that is it like during the month of October, Spook's like ACS goes up like 100?
Honestly, yeah.
It's like a seasonal buff.
It's a buff.
Yeah.
What's it called? They the new patch notes are saying that Spooked is up here, and Spooked is up to something on this C site. They are setting up the trips.
Unfortunately, they're not really going to be able to have much use with them, at least not in this pistol so far, as Interscope just kind of working their way out towards that A side of the map, taking that mound control. A jump spot from the players of ASTANE. It forces Bless all the way back on such low HP. You don't really want to commit to that fight. You don't want to go down players, especially not in a round as crucial as that pistol.
Oh, and look, they're already on the site here. We see the stuns come through. Might have been a team stun there, but it doesn't matter. Garpa's going to go down. The tether is looking rather solid as Jay's going to grab another. And Interscope is looking to bite back. They lost the pistol previously, and they want that.
One enemy remaining.
They want to grab it, but again, it's just Interscope fragging away at ASTANE. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a flawless pistol round for Interscope, and hey, at the very least, this way, it's not that one team has pistol dominance. It's more just if you're on attack, you can win a pistol.
Oh yeah, I mean, realistically, that is the plan, right? Just you have 5-7, you win the pistol, you win the bonus, boom, 7-7. It's as if nothing has happened. It's as
True.
if words, right?
It's like you're starting from 0-0 again.
Oh yeah,
But it's not 0-0.
but they have guns.
Right. That is a crucial factor. So now it's all about this C site. Right now we're going to be able to see what this Cypher utility can do, and the answer is nothing. Yui just completely destroys Spook, and now Jay is looking to frag out onto Garpa. This site completely under siege from the just superior weaponry of Interscope. How many kills does Bless get, though? That's the question.
That is the 0.
Okay.
None. I honestly, at first, I was like, did Rillakuba just get another classic kill? No, it's a sheriff. But if it was, I would not have been surprised.
I mean, a classic is basically a sheriff if the opponent has 70 health.
True, just a headshot and they're good to go. Rillakuba's also staying with the sheriff, considering that the rest of the I mean, they have 4K and they have a Vandal, 2 Bulldogs. Why not? Like,
I like this.
You think so?
I like the sheriff. Yeah.
Give
no,
like the
you
better
get...
player that sort of extra economic bonus.
Well, yeah, because this is just like a bonus round, right? Like you don't want to invest a lot into this to win it anyways. So you're like, you know what? Let's just stick with what we've got, and then that way, like, you know, like, do you want that now or do you want that Vandal later when you have to like do like a hero buy?
Honestly, as long as they can pick up Yui's Vandal, I feel like that's the vibe. No.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, Bless gonna find that first frag, and hey, you find a Bulldog from Jay, that's gonna be able to do the trick at least for that first trade, and actually that Vandal will find use onto that second kill for Interscope. Second player gone from ASTANE, and now it's that 3v3. Rabbit pinged up by the back of the site thanks to that Dizzy, but there's still all that utility forcing these Interscope players out and about.
I have to play recovery onto that bomb. 14 HP though. It's gonna go tough for them. Rabbit's gonna go down. Rue's getting peppered up. Rillakuba, I mean, they picked up the Vandal from their predecessors, so it seems to work for them. And they win out as the solo last player standing. So not only did it work for them, but it also I lost my words there. I lost my mind.
It just worked.
It just worked.
It just worked. Rillakuba now 6K in the bank. Rillakuba basically has a buy for the next 4 rounds, regardless of whether or not they live or die. Like, they're solid. They're good. The now kind of concern, though, is for ASTANE, is that Interscope just won their bonus round. Like, just flat out won it. So they're economically doing great. You are on a bunch of sheriffs. So what do you have in the tank to start to stabilize or equalize?
I would say ultimates, but it's too early within this half to even have anything for
except for the
ASTANE.
Thrash.
It's no, for ASTANE, right? Like, ASTANE doesn't have anything here. It's Interscope who's up on the up and up because they've been the ones getting the kills. A really solid tether, though, by Rue is going to prevent them from capitalizing on said Thrash.
Oh, but, you know, that doesn't matter if frags are what you're after, and Rue and Garpa are trying to deliver that with those sheriffs, and it's a second from Garpa. Now a 2v2, now a 1v2. Rillakuba, you have to dig deep here if you want this round. Sure, you have that player on low HP, but it's a 1v2 as you get the flick onto Rue. I know that was an eco, but what a flick.
What? No, okay. Well, that was an eco, but to be fair, ASTANE was about to win said eco. ASTANE was one head click away from calling it quits.
I just got jump scared. That was a... okay.
Right here.
Full guns all around. That's always good. Ultimate's looking to be built towards. There's actually that Annihilation ready from Jay, so that could be a kind of important factor here, especially over towards that C site, if needed.
Oh, look who's in the corner, though. Bless is there.
Oh
no, but still gets blasted. Spook on the trade. That's the Annihilation invested. Spook gets another, but it's just going to be tested yet again and traded out. Spook on a 3K. One more spotted. They have the line.
Oh!
The fourth found. The fifth needs to be locked in. 3 HP. But Garpa plays recovery. They don't want to lose another weapon. And sure, the ace isn't found, but ASTANE finds the round.
Garpa has been a huge player for the side of ASTANE. 16 and 13 right now. On top of all of the assists you're getting from being breach and setting up your teammates is ridiculous. And you have to give credit to Spook here. The heroics on the site to find 4. I genuinely thought the ace was what we were going to see. But
oh, yeah.
At the very end, they play the crossfires. And you were talking about those ultimates. Well, now ASTANE has them in spades. Look at that. A Rolling Thunder, a Nightfall. Oh, my goodness. And a Neural Theft just to top things off.
Oh, yeah. Information's going to be... They're going to have so much info. I heard like 4 hit markers there on UA, unfortunately.
Yeah, UA was like, oh, did they see me? Oh, did they see me? Oh, did they see me? Yeah.
Just double checking.
Yeah.
Oh, this stun could be huge if they peek out of it. Rabbit's going to go for it. UA gets the trade, though.
Yeah, Yui just absolutely on a barrel stomp, wants to take care of all of those ASTANE players. That's a blinded E-boy, but hey, when he's jumping around, you can't hit him. And when Yui's jumping around with a Blade Storm, he can hit whatever he wants. So now in that 2v3 for ASTANE, all of those powerful retake ultimates off the board. It's just Spook and Bless in that 2v3, but Interscope have a lot of wiggle room here, and now Spook even less so. The only wiggle room he has is between his head and the floor as it drops, and Interscope finds double digits.
Hey, they get the 10th, and this is Interscope's map pick, so you'd hope that they can win these rounds out. And I will say, Destroyer kind of cosplaying Rabbit jumping around. Rabbit and the rest of the roster for ASTANE is on an eco. I don't think we're going to be seeing too many ultimates. Maybe a showstopper from Rabbit to kind of, you know, try and pick up a weapon if they go on a hot streak. Like, let's say they find a group of people clumped together and they get out with their life, maybe. Sure. But it's going to scatter them, so it's like very situational.
Oh, okay. We were playing aim labs there for a second. Something. I was a little crazy, but it just seems that Interscope, they say, you know what? Hey, we went A last round and we won. Let's just not overcomplicate things and do it again. But Rabbit, a little bit, shots mildly ugly, and eventually things start to look clean. But unfortunately, on the other end, is Yui able to take care of Rabbit. And now it's that 5v3. That bomb, it's completely leaving there. Like, you know what? Maybe they are grouped up towards A. Maybe we should leave, but
they need to get out of there, right?
Interscope.
Interscope is hemorrhaging life and players and weaponry, right? Look at this. As soon as I say weaponry, Garpa and Rue both pick up guns. They don't want to go into breakable in case Jay is there, and rightfully so. But look at where Jay can cut them off yet again.
Yeah, no, there's no way that you check for the. Oh, they do. They checked. Do. Yeah,
well, because they're not sure. They all ran away. And now Rue and Garpa, they have, it's double initiator, so they do have the stuns and the info to get it. Unfortunately, they don't have the player count and the positioning. Rue's gonna take down Destroyer, but Jay's gonna grab Rue, and that's all you wrote.
No, nothing more, nothing less. Interscope 11. And that was, you know, listen, it was an eco for ASTANE, right? You can be like, oh yeah, it was an eco, they were expected to lose, but they invested some pretty heavy ultimates into that round, right? There was the Rolling Thunder, the Nightfall. They really wanted to try and brawl out an A main, and good presence of mind from Interscope to just go, we don't need the A site. We can go to a different place.
We can just, like, at the end of the day, why not rotate?
You guys ever heard of this C site? It's pretty cool.
I think this is like the second time that they've had like pretty good like reads on rotates or whether to stay and hit on a site. So I think Interscope trusting their gut is totally the right call. The last time we saw something like this was when ASTANE rotated out in the previous half and they stayed on site and they had a really solid crossfire against Interscope. You know what I'm talking, like, you know when they were like on B, they planted towards C, but they stayed on B.
I do, yeah. No, that was like a pretty good play. I think like for ASTANE though, like you can't set that up because you can't force Interscope to go.
Oh no, I'm saying that's the closest similarity that I could find. Like that's the only close reality that happened to it. And for Interscope, they just need to trust their gut because their gut has been telling them on this attacking side. I mean, clearly they've won 4 in a row, then 2 in a row. They've been playing well, so that rotate was a solid read.
Oh, for sure, but you also have to give credit to to all of these players on Interscope, right? That
Oh,
top
no.
frag, Yui, 24 and 12. But now when you're flashed up, you have to just get out of there, give away the space. Destroyer actually falls to ruin. Hey, there's that trade back from Rilakuma, but that's only a 1-for-1. Not dead yet, gonna get used, but Dill just looking to find even more. And okay,
Oh,
there's the
no.
trade back. It's a 3-on-3 for real this time.
For real, for real. They break the trip here. So they're going to make a lot of noise towards B. The problem is the spike is C, and look who's alive. Spook should know these guys are coming.
Of course you do. And hey, that camera able to get a little bit of info. You know that there's going to be at least 2 on the site. Yui just trying to swing out. Actually hits the flick onto Spook. And now that's ASTANE. Players down in numbers, and you can see they're just looking to save. They don't want to go for this.
Of course they don't. They have 2 players up. Look at the HP on Garpa. They're not going to be pushing anything here. They could set Bless up for some success, but unfortunately with players like, you just got to say it, UA has been on a tear as well. We talk a lot about Rilakuma, but UA also has been doing really well here. And Jay has had good lurks. You don't want to leave anything to chance.
No, you don't. And unfortunately, that's another player for ASTANE gone, as Bless next to fall. Garpa, the sole survivor.
Oh no, keep your gun out. Keep your gun out. Oh no, the misery. Just to bring up another Riot IP. I'm looking at your face in the cams, and you're just like, oh man.
I'm not gonna lie, I was already hurt by the fact that Garpa did all of that saving just to die, and then you referenced the enemy to me.
Oh, my bad.
Personally offended, but this is now kind of do or die territory for ASTANE, right? Obviously, your back's against the wall. You have to play for overtime, but also look at the economy. Like Rabbit's on a Guardian, Spook is on a Sharon.
Wait. Remember when ASTANE was on an eco last time? They did pretty well, so I'm not gonna discredit them.
Yeah, but that was when they were on like classics, okay?
True.
You need like that was when they were on sheriffs. This is, you know, there's like a vandal here for Garpa, and that's just a bunch of damage done to both parties here. And now Garpa's tagged up by an annihilation.
Oh yeah, it's kind of I would say oh wait, Rabbit's got the double with the showstopper. The annihilation gets found. That's 2 more invested. Last player standing for Interscope. It's just gonna be Destroyer, and Destroyer might be destroying the dreams. No, might doesn't count. Spook is able to find them, and they stay alive for yet another round. This is the first one they found in 3.
I have doom mentality. I'm afraid and concerned.
For who? Interscope or ASTANE?
Because
I would say it's ASTANE, right? Like
no, hold on. Let me explain. Garpa has 0 money. They are able to cobble together a buy, but like, look at the ult.
This goes here.
Destroyer has that Thrash, and the one thing that Thrash is really good at doing is isolating defenders. And so if ASTANE are not already ready to kind of give up sights and let that Thrash do what it needs to do, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But with the way that ASTANE likes to play, they play brawl heavy. So they could find themselves in a really bad position.
the stun's gonna slow them down, and there's that Thrash you were discussing. Garpa playing it safe, not wanting to go for the fight. I think it's caught someone, but hey, they're playing recovery.
They play recovery, but they go towards B. They've rotated.
Oh, but they keep players there. They're just trying to take space, it seems, from the shadows. Invested and found, able to find the first. Jay's gonna get swapped up as well, and this is a potential pinch towards the B side. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Black's crucial miss, and Destroyer finds Rabbit.
Oh,
it's now
no.
a 2
and it's planted all the way on C. It's over. It's done.
Rue's dead, and it's just Spook alive. Rilakuma, ridiculous 27 kill game to end things 13-9. Interscope, they take Lotus.
Yeah, that's just really unfortunate. And I mean, Rilakuma being at the top there is insane. Rabbit as well. Like Rabbit, Rilakuma, and UA all at the top is to be expected. The kill participation for the rest of the roster over 10 on all of them, so nothing too crazy. But as you can see, obviously having the the 2 carries for Interscope has helped them, and this just goes to show why they're currently 2-0 in the standings. They're a very formidable team with a slightly they lost the pistol. Then they won their rifle round, the bonus, for ASTANE. But then after that, they had a rough time of it. They still managed to bring things back all the way to a victory. Pretty
Yeah, right.
good.
They were able to get it. That was absolutely the Rillakkuma and UA show, though, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
we both agree they went absolutely nuclear. They both dropped over 20 kills, and it was like the deciding factor between what was a game for Interscope and what was a game for ASTANE.
For
So
round 4, my notes are Rillakkuma and UA have just they won that. Like they went crazy.
they woke up.
That is my note for round 4 when it was
Yeah.
1-3 on the board. It's just they're going
Yeah.
crazy. On
Yep.
top of that, the what is it? Rillakkuma single-handedly getting a 3K and with a nasty flick round 8. All in all, yeah, you can't even like that's just like hard stats of like these guys are crazy.
Yeah. And that was just map 1. We've seen craziness already, and we're not even halfway done.
Oh
Hopefully,
yeah.
we're barely a third of the way done, in case you're a fan of Abyss. But in order to figure out if we even get there, we'd have to get through map 2. And in order to get through map 2, we've got to go to a quick little break. So don't go
Ooh.
anywhere. We'll be right back just after this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Luxe series. We are back here with map number 2. If you joined us here for the previous map, Interscope won out on their map pick, and we're heading to Sunset, the map pick of ASTANE. Just need to double check that name. I'm here, Nerds Corner, here with the amazing Ancient Angel. We're gonna be the voice here today.
Yeah, we just came off the back of a pretty up and down map 1, right? 13-9, pretty average score line for a game to be. Nothing too crazy. It was Interscope eventually pulling away thanks to the help of those 2 top fragging players that you mentioned, right? In round 4 onwards, they just went absolutely insane. It was Rillakkuma and UA who just absolutely dominated the leaderboards and the latter part of Lotus. Things now move forward to Sunset, right? And this is going to be quite interesting because the last time we saw Sunset from Interscope, it was a really interesting composition. All I will say is there's a certain agent with 3 letters in their name that was picked by Interscope.
ISO?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm just thinking, like, is there another 3 agent? I was like, Vice is 4.
Nope. Vice is
ISO's
4,
the only
Sova's 4.
3.
Yeah. And look what Dale's hovering on Interscope.
There's no other. Is there another agent with 3?
No.
I'm like, I'm not stupid. I'm like, yeah, no, it's ISO. And we talked about this. We actually talked about this in the pregame a little bit as well. Whereas, like, we've seen either Dale. I don't know if it was exactly Dale.
It was
but
Dale.
One of the it was Dale that just like consistently locks ISO. So I guess if anything, this is on par, and the previous choice was off par. You know, just flexing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting now to see what Interscope looks like because it does seem like everyone's on more of their comfort agents, right? Obviously, you don't have UA on the powerhouse Jet anymore, which on one hand you could go, yeah, that kind of sucks, but on the other hand, you're running a double Sentinel comp, which I find to be quite interesting, right? You're running a Deadlock Cypher. Again, I've seen some teams do this, right? FlyQuest was, I believe, one of the teams that would run double Sentinel. They ran Deadlock Cypher. I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it's bad, especially because Sunset's so annoying in some cases. You can like lock down sites. My thought process also is that it's not their map picks, so maybe they're just kind of, it doesn't really matter. Just play whatever you're fun, comfortable with, because we're gonna just try to win this out, but not necessarily like have any set strategies going into it. Just a little shot in the dark though. On the flip side, just to talk a little bit about ASTANE, they just fully locked in, and it's basically it's literally the exact same comp
as the last one. Yeah, they're like, you know what, we have our agents and we play them well, so we're just gonna stick with those. And honestly, if you had to pick one composition to play throughout like 90% of the maps, this would probably be it for ASTANE, right? You have the Fade, you have the Breach, you can do the duo Nightfall Rolling Thunder on whatever site and just completely take it. You have the Cypher, which is available to lock down the sites. We know how good that Cypher is on a map like Sunset, where you can kind of play a lot of ratty trip angles. And you have a Raze, Duelist, good.
Go shoot, shoot, pew
bounce,
pew bullet,
bounce, grenade, very
go
good,
boom,
go
grenade,
boom,
go
yes.
Boom. Grenade, go boom, head go pop. Speaking of grenades, speaking of booming, these guys are just going straight in and zooming. Jay's gonna go down.
Yeah, Jay just immediately falls. That A site now under siege. There is a little bit of Cypher utility there to try and stop things, but Bless just wants to frag. But hey, there's UA immediately on the trade, but Rabbit doesn't care. 3 kills out for the Duelist of ASTANE, and Dale's been revealed on the flank. There is a double tap that could be used and will get used quite well as Spook gets taken out. And now Rue making sure that Dale has to do all the heavy lifting himself. 4 kills required from the ISO, but an up-down held. And now that's a double tap broken. Dale, you got 1 life.
It's
How
over.
do you use it?
Dale's just out. Like, it's over.
Okay.
Rabbit's got the 4K. I mean, what is Dale gonna do there?
Get the 3 kills and win.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, on ISO, you wouldn't be surprised. The thing is, they had a high-low triple setup there, so I expected one of them to go down and the other person get a trade before Dale was able to pop that shield again.
Yeah, well, that is exactly what happened. So ASTANE walk away from things with a pistol round. Yet again, attackers have yet to lose a pistol round, regardless of which team is on the attack. So now we get to a point where it's about what Interscope can find on this eco. Can they find, a cheeky little bit of damage with Shorty from Destroyer?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they can. I would love to see Destroyer get a pick here, only because I find it funny more than anything, honestly.
Oh, well, yeah,
and
nope.
Garpa's gonna get the kill with the aftershock too.
Yeah. So no kill found with a Shorty. Instead, it's just Bless running down with a Bulldog, finding kills instead. And now Rilakkuma and Yue 2v5, trying to swing in, finding whatever needs to be found, as that's now more just all bunch of bodies just holding over towards main. Rilakkuma can only find one. I think we know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Squashed and spooked, I guess. They'd lose one, but still carrying 4 into the next round. I think they didn't really lose that much. They bought Stingers and Guardians, so realistically, this eco is going to be them kind of running it down. I feel like they're going to go super fast now.
For ASTANE?
Yeah, I mean, they have 2 Stingers. Rabbit's going to probably hype up, like, try and speed things up.
Yeah, you could definitely see something fast towards A, maybe over towards lane. Depends on how you want to play things, but for Interscope, they need to try and get active, and you can see they're probably going to do that over towards mid.
Oh, a brawl towards mid would be fun here. Shots are immediately going to get fired, and Garpa's going to find the first on Rilakkuma. That's one of the star players already out of it. Destroyer gets another, gets a second on the board. They're not going to let ASTANE walk away with this one.
Well, unfortunately, then you see, it's just in the blink of an eye, the whole team of Interscope just completely falls. You're like, oh yeah, it's 2 Interscope. They don't want to let ASTANE get away with it. And now it's all up to that one sole player of J alone over towards B. And
I'm so lonely.
Yeah, that's probably a save. I don't think you go for that. I think you've accepted that you've lost your bonus round.
Yeah, that's a really big that's just like a huge blow. There's no other words to say it. It's your 3rd round in. It's 3-0. You were supposed to win this round. You had weapons, and then you just got in. I don't know if it was a read towards mid. I feel like they just outplayed them in mid more than anything. Less than a read, more than like, we're just gonna take some space in mid, take some space in A, and just kill them. Yeah,
ASTANE. It was that utility, right, from Rue with the haunt. It kind of revealed players. It gave a lot of those players on ASTANE with the lower weapons confidence to swing, pre-aim for the head. And it just rewarded them. They got that fight in mid, and sure, you had that, one player in Spook try and do a little bit of damage, try and, fight their way back, but it just didn't matter.
Such an early time. I'm not even, you know what, after I'm always the person who's like hypercritical of timeouts. Normally I would say, oh, you should generally wait until later, like mid game, but with how poorly that round went and how but I wouldn't say poorly, but like they did go up against Stingers. If it was like Vandal v Vandal, I would be like, okay guys, it happens. But it was Stingers and Guardians versus a full buy. That makes entirely like so much sense for Rilakkuma to just be like, all right, we need to breathe. We need to figure this out.
Yeah, like, where are the comms at? What are we doing? Where are the trades? But I think this is probably just like a pressure timeout of just like we don't need to be that scared, right? Like, we can come back from this. You do have that Vandal still in the hands of Jay, so I would like to see what that could get done potentially in this round. There is potential for that to try and potentially find some value. Maybe if you're Interscope, you look to try and force an engagement somewhere and then trade off the Vandal.
Drop that to Rilakkuma, maybe give them some.
That's force buying. It's like we're seeing some half buying up here.
Like, buy for next seems. And Dale going for the judge there also like means that they're probably gonna go light shields for the next one, aren't they? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are ISO, so.
So yeah, I was gonna say they have the double tap, so. It's just like it's a big question in my mind is how they're gonna play.
Well, you can see there's that kind of mid-cross being held between Jay and then some of the Interscope players who were trying to jiggle top mid, but now it's all about that A site
Oh, no,
just
but look.
starting to get detailed.
I got worried there for a second. I was like, the timing on this could be very rough.
Oh, that
I was gonna
was some
say
crazy
Dale
timing.
should not be pushing that.
Well,
And thankfully they
he
don't.
had a timing for a second, and then he jiggled for one moment, saw Bless, almost got headshot, and then immediately backed up. But that's a that's a vulnerable that's not gonna find any value.
It's not gonna hit that guard.
Nope.
If that vulnerable hit, I don't think it would have. It could have done a huge chunk of damage, but I don't think it would have killed him fully, just because of the amount of players there and the position they were in.
This is an A side execute. Yeah,
Okay,
Jay finds one and could actually potentially find more, but it's gonna have to back up instead. There's Spook on this back here. Oh, finds Destroyer, and now all of a sudden, that's a 1v3. Oh, poor little UA can only find Bless before getting traded out. And ASTANE continuing their streak of not losing. That's 4 in a row. But we've seen ASTANE with early leads before.
I don't know if this is gonna last. This kind of reminds me of the 4-1 we saw previously. I would hope that Interscope can bounce back here, just because right now they're having a hard time of it, just to bring a series to be more competitive. But for ASTANE, this is great. They win this, they dominate this game, and then they go on to Abyss, and they don't have to worry about it. They completely have to ignore the outcome of Lotus because of how comfortable and confident they are towards Sunset.
Ooh, okay. That was almost a kill, and we would have had to sit here and try and react to just a blind spam through smokes.
That would be
Thankfully.
so unlucky.
That doesn't... Okay, well, the smoke fades, and then UA just finds Garpa anyways. It's like nothing happened, and hey, Jay can find Rue as well. So Interscope back to some winning ways. They now want to take a little bit of space towards mid. They want to snuff out the attack, but Rabbit's there.
Oh,
Huge,
no.
too.
It's a none for 2. And it brings us back to a 3v3, a fight back out towards mid. Rabbit's gotta get the 3, the 4. Rillakuma's the last one here. Wait, what? This is no way. Rabbit's right here. Rillakuma prevents the ace from coming to fruition. But they had so much in terms of the player count, and they just immediately let go of it.
Yeah. Guys, what if we just keep the raise one by one? I think that's a good idea. What do you think?
Why not? You know, it's like it's like knocking at the door when trick-or-treating. It's you get one at a time.
It's only a 3v5, and now a 1v3 for Rillakuma that would have to be surmounted here to even start to look at this round. But Spook knows the positioning. Could catch a mean timing if you're Rillakuma right now. Oh,
it's
no.
possible.
Oh,
but improbable. It's oh my gosh, bro. I think I'm just having a fun time looking at our cams here as we're both just like, what did we just witness?
Yeah, I'm just so confused. This is a 3v5. You push down mid. The Raze is just playing aim labs, and it's staying just on an absolute tear right now. 5-0, looking to just not slow down at all. I don't really know what the answer is here for Interscope. They're forcing into this round. There's a judge in the hands of Destroyer that could potentially find some value should ASTANE opt towards Elbow as their path forward.
I'm just kind of, I don't think I'm lost for words. I just think that, oh my, okay, that is going to make me lose my words because I just, what am I going to say to that? Rue gets another as well. Interscope has 3 players up and Adam. Rillakuma's gonna keep. They have a Vandal somehow. I thought they bought the previous round, so I'm a little perplexed at this rusted buy. But
Bless just finds another.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Rillakuma, you have a Vandal here, which, hey, that's gonna give you something. You find that kill onto Rue, and there is potential to frag into this round, but you have to take care of Bless here, up on that platform, and yeah, I mean, you found him, and that paranoia misses, and Rabbit falls as well. This is doable for Interscope. They just need to live. They need to buy a little bit more time, but when you're stunned up, you're flashed, you're every piece of utility, and you're triple swung. What else can you do but die?
I love how you said you need to live, and I'm just here like, I don't think that's happening. Like, there was like As soon as I saw the breach stun, and then like I think it was it was blessed with the paranoia. I'm like, this is just over, man.
Like
I
Destroyer
believe
dies
it's
to
a-
Garpa.
Yeah, it's a
breach
breach stun. I think it's
Cypher
Cypher Cam, and then they
triple
all.
peek.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just to note, Garpa was running with a flash out, ready to flash them again.
Okay.
And I think they had some piece of utility out, and I was like, I swear, this will be the goofiest thing. It's a showstopper.
Oh.
Okay, good ult denial, but Dale now has to win the fight. The crouch is going to work. Yui gets another. They finally have numbers, and Annihilation puts them out of position. Potentially a victory here for Interscope. Hopefully, this isn't going to be like last time.
Spike down A.
It's a 1v4 for Bless, trying to keep the ASTANE win streak alive. A shadow step
ultimate.
used right into the sight of 2. Interscope,
Oh.
they play that crossfire, and they finally find their first.
I'm just like, my notes are here like, finally. That's literally my note, is just like exclamation
Good.
mark, finally. It was super chaotic. They gamble. That was definitely just a gamble stack in A. They had the numbers there. They had a really good position. They used an Annihilation at a good time. It's just a situation where everything kind of worked in their favor. And thank God it did, because at about the quarter mark, you know, or the quarter of the way through this game, and they finally pick up their first round.
Better late than never, right? We're gonna get something on the board, something rolling, and that is a nice little opening pick if you are ASTANE. But Rillakkuma, using that not dead yet, you want to fight into this, and you can see good presence of mind from ASTANE. They say, you know what? Let's secure this kill. Let's make sure that Rillakkuma is gonna go and die, and we all just tuck in. And that's how that opening pick finally unfolds.
It's going to give him a good amount of information, as you can see. I think, yeah, Cypher, Destroyer, I believe, just kind of tucking themselves into mid and back into B market, because they just know, all right, there's probably nobody there. Yes, it is Destroyer. Set things up.
Nightfall used. Now a bunch of utility as this execute's gonna start to come out, but Destroyer is there with a Spectre to actually find that kill onto Spook. Bless gonna respond back, and Dale in the back of the site gets taken out by Bless. All the Interscope players blinded up ASTANE. They say, you know what? We don't care you took 1 round. We're gonna take it right back. The lead stays at 6.
Just a huge util dump on site. As soon as they took it, and that worked so well for them in terms of the layering. It's like an onion. They just peeled back each one, and they managed to make you cry.
That is true, Interscope. They could be crying right now. I don't necessarily think so. I feel like they're a bit more tough.
Oh no,
than
they're
that. I
definitely
don't think-
locked in.
Yeah, they're definitely locked, but you want to try and get something more than 1 round here, as that's a Hunter's Fury that's used and finds a grand total of 0 tags.
No, it hits J actually. Actually, it hits J for 20
80?
HP. So they did actually hit J.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garpa's gonna get picked up down towards mid. I know, but like a team hit is just so goofy.
Destroyer has a Spectre again, and no, never mind. Doesn't have a Spectre. Jake actually with a Vandal finds a kill instead, and that 3-on-3, that's potentially something here for Interscope. As again, more trades, more frags going their way. Rillakkuma finding Bless. ASTANE 2v3. You don't have the players. Do you have the shots? You have the first and the second, but now it's a 1v1. Dale versus that Soul Raise, wrapping around, sticking is Dale. Rabbit now running, double tap out, but it doesn't matter. The HP difference is the thing that does it in.
That's enough.
Yeah.
And that's gonna find him the second round. I mean, it's definitely not gonna be a 6-6 on the board, but just look at some, like, definitely some gaps within their play style. Dale needing to win things back up. They had the numbers there, but it just, like, they peeked one into the smoke, and then like immediately after peeked out of the smoke. Rue was just there. So it's like, it begs the question of like, why Rillakkuma and UA didn't peek the smoke together if UA was already planning on peeking it.
I guess would be UA.
Caught in the moment, honestly. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
thinking.
But
Like,
all in all, this has been in terms of Interscope, this has been a pretty quiet overall performance from everyone compared to where we were at Lotus. So I don't know if there is a single gap you can pinpoint other than just the whole team really not showing up. Instead, it's Rabbit showing up onto the B site, just following all that utility, confirming that Dale is dead, and then finding another on Terilakuma. And now, you mentioned UA before.
I don't know what they're going to do here. They're not going to do much here, Angel. I did mention them, but I'm going to mention that they're going to go down here because it's a flawless victory for ASTANE.
What else do you do?
I mean, they already took the timeout for the half, so they really can't do that. Pick up a third and then pray to a curse to befall their enemy.
I mean, if you can find a third, fourth is an option as well.
You would want an 8-4, obviously, but
well, yeah, but
Interscope has, again, we talked about the performances. Just to bring back something you said to reiterate, the kill participation is just not there. And we see UA. I feel like UA being back on the duelist role would have kind of. It works for them. It works really well. Dale has not been showing up here. Dale's immediately going to go down towards mid. And Spook gets another on Rillakkuma. Probably Destroyer's going to go down here as well. It's over.
Yeah, Garpa double swing in. UA can only find one.
It's just not it, Angel. I don't know what else to say.
This ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. Go back to the drawing board, figure out a new tactic.
Honestly, though, it is one of those things where it's like Interscope might just really hate Sunset. They might just not be a Sunset team. It's
let me go check the.
I'm curious.
The stats for you.
Yeah, go do that because I'm just like, are they are they just not good on Sunset? Is it just this performance that's the case? What's the vibe?
Well, they have played Sunset before, and they won it 13-7 against Lionheart.
Oh, Jay just got a really solid onto Rabbit. Picked up another with Annihilation, but catches them off guard. No! Overextending. Garpa, happy to be alive. Interscope now has one player up. Hopefully they don't lose it. E-Boy Destroyer is pushing up here. Oh, no.
Oh, Destroyer, you don't want to give this player advantage away. You don't. You want to back up. Don't give away the man advantage. And hey, you know what? At the very least, you don't. It makes things a little tighter, but at least you go 1-for-1. Now it's that 2v3, but look, Interscope, they've kind of fallen for the bait. There's eventually that realization of, wait a minute, ASTANE, they could fake the rotate here. You see that clove smoke go down just the right time.
I'm just worried about these positions. Look at where Dale is. Dale's gonna try and go for a pinch.
Oh, Nightfall doesn't hit anyone.
Oh, they split up again as well. Oh, Rillakkuma still wins the fight, though. So the possibilities are there. Garpa picks up one. The split is there. And thankfully, Dale gets it with the pinch. I was worried by how split these guys were going. Like, they're drifting apart like Pangea here. But it's like, you know, you kind of need to at least have some sort of line of connection.
Well, everything lines up. They get it done. They get that third, and now at the very least, there's a little bit of breathing room for Interscope, right? It's no longer like, oh, well, we lost 2 rounds, the game is over. You know, like they have something, right? This pistol round, while great, while significantly increasing their chances of winning this game, not technically a necessity. So, you know, we can see what they plan on doing. Something tells me when you're running a Clove and an ISO, you kind of just want to group up and do your best. But who knows?
I would hope so too. I feel like it's like they're just trying, like, oh, we're gonna see what we can do, how much damage we can land. Rabbit fighting the first here is just like another nail.
That's the spike too, but hey, that's a response at the very least. It's 4-on-4 now. Dale picks up Rabbit, and now that double tap is active, ready to start, you know, balling their way into the site. That plant, it's going to be able to go down, so there's a retake now that ASTANE has to do, and they don't have any rays to do it, but this, okay, shot through the smoke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. Like, at this point, I feel like that's just the story of this game. Interscope not performing and Bless just jumping on them.
Yeah.
That was just a right-click bounce.
So, Rabbit died, so Bless was like, it's my turn. to
I gotta
just
inherit the
go
will.
and bunny. Yeah, you literally have to bunny hop your way into the site, just right-clicking everything that moves with a classic and finding 2.
He inherited the will of rabbit.
Will of Rabbit.
I mean, I don't know. At this point, I'm just having fun with it because it's 3-10 and the
I
whole
mean,
9-3. You got to win the pistol.
yeah.
Like you just win. That's how you start. You win the
I
pistol
don't-
and snowball
I mean,
there. No.
I don't think you have to win the pistol, but the pistol is definitely what makes things really doable.
Oh, also, this is the first time defense has won a pistol.
Ever. Yeah.
Yep. In this series.
Ever in the history of Valorant.
No, yeah.
Oh,
in
well,
the history.
that too.
No,
Sure.
no, no. I meant in this
No, 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 no.
series. I meant in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
series, but yeah.
Yep. Okay. Hey, you know what? We got it in the end. We took it out in the end, and hey, we take out Rabbit. That's something if you're Interscope. You can try and work your way through this, and Rue just dominating. That's 3 kills on the
Ruthless.
round, and Garpa finds one as well. But Jay looking to try and frag out here. 1v2, 100 HP, dodges the flash and gets the kill and finds the headshot onto Rue.
That was
1v2 clutch for the deadlock on Interscope. Who needs a pistol when you have an anti-eco?
You know what? You know what? That's fair. I'm not gonna lie. I was just saying it like, man, you kind of want to start winning, like snowballing these rounds, and we see exactly that. Jay, I think they're gonna buy up. No, they have 3K creds, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Hero
or if they
rifle.
Hero
right?
sheriff, hero
Think
sheriff.
about like Rilakuma on the last map, right? Top frag, doesn't buy in this round, gets to buy a hero rifle later.
You know what? That's fair. That is a vibe, and honestly, with how well they played previously with the head taps, I wouldn't be surprised if Jake does it again.
Thing is basically a phantom with a low fire rate, so
barrier deployed.
The 145 to the headshot. and
This is-
you're
it's
just
a
like,
guardian. Sheriff is a guardian. But
140 to the head.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, Interscope, they have a lot of space, right? Like, you've gone all the way up mid. The only thing that could potentially bother you is this timing on to Bless, but it favors you. Jay is able to find that kill, and Rilakuma can open things up on A over towards Rue. And so now, all of a sudden, that 3v5 that's now a 2v5 in their favor, UA in the back line just destroys everything. That spike from Dale can start to get planted. Spook. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. That got a little dicey for a second, but Dale stabilizes things out.
It's currently 5-10, round 15, 38 played, and these guys are starting to bring it back. Talk about I mean 9-3 curse. Talk about bringing it back. I don't know whether I just cursed, blessed, or even said anything into fruition, but these guys are doing pretty good for Interscope. They carry 4 rifles into the next round, and they buy up yet again. Jay is going to go for it. They have 3K creds for at least 4 of their players from what I saw. And hopefully the snowball starts to build. They got to make themselves a snowman if they want to have some sort of cheer.
Are we going to be building snowmen? Is that the plan? Well,
I mean, they can't let it go.
Well,
easily.
hey, Dale doesn't let that kill go onto Bless, and I mean, Rue's not going to let that go untraded, and Rabbit finds UA as well, so Interscope, we just gave them all that praise just for them to lose players, but if Destroyer can go 1 for 1, then
It seems like
things stay the same.
ASTANE can't hold it back anymore. They just are immediately ready to take these fights, and
yeah.
they have the player advantage going into this. They are very comfortable with holding on sites. It's going to be up to Dale to kind of, you know, showcase some of their prowess as the duelist. And there's the Rilakuma we used to know and love on the previous map.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, and actually finds another. It's now a 1v2 for Rue, but the wraparound is good. You find them both!
No way!
ASTANE just can't lose a clutch.
Rue just got the 2, and that's yeah, I don't know, man. That's not what I expected at all. It was a 2v1, and it seems like the clutches from both sides have just been sort of off in the timings, and it's not even one of those situations where I could be like nitpicking certain aspects of it. It's just the timings are rough.
I feel like saying the timings are rough is an understatement.
It's just
Like-
really bad. Like, because here's the thing, Rilakuma had a 50-50. They had a position kind of they knew, but then they wrapped around, and it's like they look up towards heaven or they look towards sight.
Oh, Interscope. Not like this.
Blocking movement.
Do we call it over?
No. You can't call it over until the
over.
score says 13, but oh, there's so much
One
utility,
enemy
and Dale falls to a paint shell, and so does Rillakkuma.
They're on an eco, I mean, at this point, right? Oh, whoa. UA is bringing at least some of the action back to bite them, but like I said, I believe Interscope is
This
on a rough
is,
buy here, a showstopper, just to assert
1v5.
even more dominance.
Yeah, just finish things off.
In style.
It was a 1v5 from UA. You don't want to get 1v5'd right now. You're a stain. Just burn the ult. Guarantee match point. The only way that this changes is if we think back to our favorite friends on NRG.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
yeah.
but that's 2 curses, right? 9-3 and 5-12.
Listen, I just longingly stare into the poster in my background, and I'm like, hopefully.
You're hoping.
Hopefully the power of FNS will come to Demon 1. I don't know, just start naming players.
Someone, but someone. I mean,
used
listen,
to know.
Bless. Oh,
man.
okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Garpa could be able to
they
take care of
have
that. And yeah, finds
Oh my
Dale,
God.
Rolling Thunder as well, but Jay's in front of
not
it.
in it.
Great
Rue
potential.
gets 2, Garp gets 1 more. Rillakkuma pops the not dead yet. It's just kind of over at this point. They're bullying the last player. Rillakuma's there, Jay's gone, and it's gonna be 5-13. Like,
That was a map that felt so much less like 5-13 than it was.
yeah, I know, right? It didn't. You wouldn't. I didn't think about it. The biggest win streak so far was 6 in a row, right? Yeah. That's not taking into account different houses. Look at the Rue, Rabbit, and Garpa. All just like,
Yeah.
it almost feels like the same like the same spread from Lotus, except for at least on Lotus, it was like the colors were switched at the top.
Yeah.
Like it's the
It was
same like agents, but the colors were like alternating at least a little bit. Whereas here, it's just red. 3 of them are red, blue, and red on the bottom. But they're fine at the bottom because the rest of the roster for ASTANE was just helping with support.
I think the other thing you have to give credit to is the fact that Rue and Garpa, right? We mentioned them as like part of that leading fragging core, but like look at the assists, right? 14 assists on each of them. They were putting up numbers in that utility category, right? You think about some of the rounds that ASTANE won with ease on their defense, right? When they fought out towards mid and they won that round, when they had like stingers, they won that bonus, right? It was due to the fact that they had that utility from Rue. They were on the attack. Rue throws over the haunt. It tags out some of the players pushing down into mid, and they take care of Dale, Rillakkuma, all of these players. Like they never got a chance on the side of Interscope to even build into these rounds because of the utility from these other players on the side of ASTANE.
I mean, it's a 5-13 game. I can add like, oh, this and that, but at the end of the day, it's just 5-13. Some people hate Sunset for a reason. I'm one of the people who dislikes playing Sunset. Love casting it on the playing, but Abyss is next, and it's I know it's our producer's favorite map, and I know you and me, we enjoy it. So, any thoughts on that or anything?
I was gonna mention that the good news is Abyss is up next, so there is that. I'm excited. I'm an Abyss enjoyer. I think it's really cool, really unique map. We're gonna see a lot of really interesting plays with rotations, hopefully. Not to be any sort of a spoiler, but don't go anywhere, because like we mentioned, if you want some more action specifically on Abyss, got a quick little break, and then we're going to come at you with some absolute heat. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
But I never really knew that it was over till the quiet and the echoes became colder. And I never really knew wants to leave, but it won't keep me from this heart. And I'll try to carry on again, but I never really knew that it was over.
Hello and welcome to Map 3, Week 3, Game 1 of the Luxe Series group stage. That's a lot of numbers coming at you, but basically, we're coming here. It's Week 3. We're in the middle of the group stage, and we are on Map 3 of this banging series between Interscope and ASTANE. It's Abyss. Nerds, we don't even have time to talk about the other two maps. They don't matter. It's either you win this map or you lose the series.
I will say with how Sunset played, I don't think that one mattered that much. Lotus had a lot of impact between both sides. All things considered, ASTANE, I believe, got the final choice between this and Ascent, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so it was this or Ascent, and they decided to go for this, which makes me think, okay, these guys are trying to go for something like they either have something kind of picked out here, they did fully lock in, or they have some confidence that they can kind of trip up their opponent.
Well, something that I will say is that this is so far the only map that Interscope has lost in the group stage. They
Oh.
lost this map to Lionheart 13-7, and something that I find to be quite interesting is that they were running a comp with no initiator at the
Oh.
time. So thankfully, I think they've started to remedy that, right? Destroyer we saw on the Sova, but on the other side of things, a Harbor Astra coming out from the
Yoru?
side of ASTANE. Harbor Astra Yoru. I love this comp.
I'm so
I have
excited.
nothing negative to say about it. I think that Harbor is really good, especially over towards that B site. You can carve out a lot of really interesting spaces. We already know that Astra is good from a lot of other teams, and I think that now with the buffs to add more stars
5
to Astra,
stars.
right? We're back. I play Astra in ranked again, and it's fun. Like, you can actually use her utility in different spots where it makes this Astra really good. You can run that alongside the Yoru, so you still have flashes, and you can use. We've seen Yoru Astra comps in general have a really high level of synchronization, right? Like we saw, teams when they would run it on Breeze, they would do that Yoru teleport into an Astra star like a smoke, and that would be really, really impactful. You can do a similar thing on Abyss on the B site where you send that Yoru, the gate crash, into that little corner with an Astra star, and then you can pop that, and then all of a sudden your Yoru is on the site in a really safe and nice position. There's a lot that this comp has and a lot of legs that it can stand on. I just want to see what it can do when it's time to start walking.
Angel, I think it's just fascinating to listen to you nerd out about this because I absolutely love all the chaos. The only one thing I do want to add on top of that is just Harbor's utility towards mid is also very fun to kind of watch and very useful in general. There's a lot of sight lines that his utility can benefit from. I digress though. On the flip side, I think we saw just a pretty standard stuff. Jay's back on the deadlock. I think there was a fade either being hovered or locked in, relatively uncertain. This is a map that Interscope lost, and considering that they might be demotivated a little bit from Sunset going into this, we might be seeing an upset. I remember at the top of this, I said that Interscope is currently 2-0 at the top of the standings, and ASTANE, they're question mark. We don't know much about them yet.
They're
So
0-0. They literally have not won or lost any game. They haven't played any game. So for all we know, Interscope were the underdogs coming into this.
okay. Well, they might be the underdog, but we're gonna have to come back to you guys to, kind of figure out what the rest of the story is gonna be. There's a tech issue, and we're gonna take a little bit of a break to let the players figure it out. And we'll see you guys on Abyss in just a little bit. Cheers.
catching diamonds in the rain, letting precious water through the drain. Stars were dancing in their line, paths that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. We built these walls so we could find who could prove themselves to the waves of time. We're trying to repent before you sin. It's like giving up before you begin. Stars were dancing in their line, paths that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing in their line, future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry, it was bone dry. Thought another goal is all we needed, taking second chances till we bleed. And when all the love had been depleted, we had but no choice to concede. As the stars were dancing in that line, paths that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing in that line, future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry, it was bone dry.
Running round like dollars in the wind, bending over backwards just to let you in. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the I was putting in the I'm sick of fighting the things that you said. I don't wanna burn all our bridges ahead. I'm tired of going to bed when you left me on red just to turn up the noise in my head. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and never. I was putting in the Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get.
Whoa! We're live. It's a pistol round. The same. Everything's the exact same. Interscope. There is no more. Rilakuma. Instead, it's hum. Power outage.
It happens at this point. It just could be like that. The TP fake. It's gonna trip UA up for just a little bit. We see another role swap for UA. They're going onto the controller, kind of playing that flex. We see Hum grabbing one. Rue gets another on the board, and it seems like 3 players are up and at him.
It's a 3v3 now at this point for ASTANE. They're falling back because Jay is looking to try and frag their way out, but Bless is there on that Astra and Rue on the Sova. Also, 1 for 1. It's now Destroyer 1v2, and they're just jiggling about those 2 players on ASTANE.
Oh, that dart's gonna find them. They go for it, but it doesn't land. Bless is going to pop them through, and that's the first found for ASTANE. Again, you know, keeping the statistic alive that attack most likely to win the pistol.
It's 4-1 now for attackers winning pistols in this series. So nice little scoreline or nice little stat line to keep your eye on as we go to that next half. But we still have 11 more rounds to go through ASTANE. They're on an anti-eco. Interscope, kind of tough position because who knows what they're going to be able to do. We've seen some crazy thrifty rounds so far, but ASTANE, they're just looking to run things right on back towards that B site and try and frag out onto Dale.
Yeah, makes sense. Dale also has a sheriff in hand. A clean tap onto Rabbit is going to give Interscope at least the advantage for the time being. They try to go for another hero play, but it doesn't land. Bless is going to find them. That site open, more or less.
That site basically open. There was a couple shots that Hum could maybe take there, but eventually has to back away. There's that plant coming down from Garpa, and there you go. Click in 4v3 post plant for ASTANE and make it a 4v2, but hey, that's a good shot.
It's going to give him a gun. They're going to take it, pick it up, and hopefully run with it. The dart comes through up close. Garpa's gonna get spotted, and Hum's gonna use it to their advantage. It's a very winnable spot for them if they can find the timings and at least get some of these picks. There's a lineup.
Last player standing.
Oh. And
Frozen
just
fake.
like that.
Remaining.
Oh, wait, but Rue!
Oh!
What a good spam off the scan, and now we'll just look to
Oh!
frag. That's a clutch to confirm the anti-eco for ASTANE.
Okay, but it was very close. You gotta admit, because ASTANE lost it all the way down to just one player. And look at their economy. They don't have much. They're gonna give the Guardian to Rabbit. Makes sense. Rabbit has been a really solid player for them, and they're playing on that entry duelist. So, you know, the rest of the roster gets Sheriffs on top of that. Should be pretty good. Interscope has to win this. They don't want to have what happened on Sunset repeat.
I don't think it's probable that Interscope loses this round, but I'm scared, okay? Sunset really did a number on me in terms of my faith in Interscope,
Oh no.
but
Not
you
a
can
believer.
see some utility starting to get used here. They want to try and attack this A site in ASTANE. You can see that teleport coming through, but Jay is able to hold things down, take out Rabbit, and now all of a sudden, it's that 3v5. Make it a 1v5 for
Oh,
Bless
wow.
alone on the Astra. Smoked off and now spammed down by Dale. A flawless round for Interscope to pick up here.
It's going to be good, not only for the eco to keep building, but also for their mental to hopefully bounce back. Honestly, all in all, I feel like the big thing for them is just maintaining as much of the momentum as they can here. They're on the defensive side. I would argue that a really good team could win out on defense more just because of the, as long as they can catch the rotations and have really solid retakes, they're fine. But that's kind of the key, is reading your opponent here. I remember it was something you brought up, is like you're really curious to see if and how they're going to rotate through.
You can see Interscope. They're trying to play very much together in this round, right? You can see this kind of core group rotating between B and mid. As that B site from ASTANE taken underway, but Hum and Dale are the first two to start fragging about. 3v5 now for the defense, as ASTANE in that minority party trying to just buy their way back into this, but
Enemy remaining.
the duelists aren't stopping, and Garpa is now alone in a 1v4.
Oh, Garpa's already found another. At this point, it looked like Garpa could at least get two more, one more maybe, but unfortunately.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a tech pause. I was like, ooh,
No. Nothing is out of the ordinary. Everyone is going to keep playing Valorant until the universe comes to a heat death. But before that heat death, there is at least 22 rounds of Valorant that could be played.
Yeah.
So we've got a long way to go. And some mid action is where we're taking things next.
Down towards mid, shots come through. Garpa just wins it with a sheriff. Kind of crazy that they're peeking that with the bomb. Rabbit also has the bomb. They're just peeking and winning with sheriffs. The ultimate's gonna come through the Hunter's Fury. They have the players, but they don't have the guns or the positioning.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Dale.
That's a ridiculous shot from Dale. And Interscope finding themselves in man advantage. So, exactly what you want to see. And, you know, you could be like, oh yeah, that's really great for Interscope, but look at this position from Bless. Just, that's the whole B site.
Yep.
And Bless is going to keep going.
Of course. This could be either feast or famine, I would say, because they get a solid pick. Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, this could... Please don't whiff the shot, though.
Last player standing.
Oh!
No! They played a little too close to the sun, and Icarus's wings have melted. I just see you leaning back in your chair, just like, oh no. I'm like, yeah, that just happened. That just happened. That was so rough.
That is so rough for Bless. You're in such a good position. You're like, oh, do I go for this right click onto destroyer? Do I do it? No, I'm gonna wait. You peek out to try and catch Dale off guard, and the right click just doesn't amount to anything. And now you're sitting here going, oh, what if? But unfortunately, for ASTANE, that is a round that they will not recover. They are going to have to force now into this full buy, right? Rifles across the board, except for who is opting for that Blade Storm instead.
That's fair. I mean, all in all, right now, they kind of have to win this.
Oh.
Rabbit's going to find the first, get yoinked in by Dale, and lose the fight on top of that. ASTANE is, though, immediately losing players yet again. What is this? It's like a slugfest. Every time one person gets a pick, the enemy team gets another.
And now it's just a 1v3 for UA. It might be crazy for me to say this, but I don't think we're gonna see Interscope at 4.
Honestly, yeah.
That's just
I
a
don't
really.
I don't think that's crazy to say.
No,
I
that's
feel like
not.
that's
That's
accurate.
That's just really good microplay from Rabbit though at the start of this round, right? Like you saw. Oh, okay, a little sketchy timing, but things are all right. But really good microplay from Rabbit, right? You dodge the deadlock utility at the start of the round from the grav net, and then after that, you know, you win that first fight onto who's dashing in, expecting everyone to be crouched on the floor, and then you win that second fight, right? The one in the ISO ultimate, the kill contract. And then all of a sudden it's a 3v5 for your team. It doesn't even matter that Jay finds 2 because you can just trade out from the numbers, and all of a sudden UA just has to save.
Yeah. And at this point, it's 3-3. The economy's looking pretty okay. Yeah, I mean, UA did, like you mentioned, they did get the save, so it's not completely in shambles.
Yeah.
They have, you know, I was going to say they have their ultimate, but I don't really know what From the Shadows is going to do on the defensive side, unless it's going to try to trip up a flank. I feel like the Cosmic Divide is going to have more impact. The shots have impact as Rue goes down.
Yeah, that's huge from UA, but the question is, if you wide swing in,
Time to jump.
how much can you really find? And the answer is you find a bullet to the head. So that's yet another round that, you know, is back into the hands of whoever chooses to grab. And Jay and Garpa are reaching out and trying to grab what is dangled in front of them. But Dale is looking to secure things for Interscope. And those 2 shots by seal the deal. Interscope, they found themselves with that lead.
We got this.
It brings them back up. They got it to a pretty even place since the first time Interscope is kind of reeled it up and managed to win things out. It was 3-2 earlier than 3-3. Hopefully they can try and find the 5th here is kind of the main goal, so they can continue that momentum, right?
Yeah, I mean, you want to try and have a really dominant map 3 compared to what you had to suffer on Sunset. So anything that you can find and can do would be great. And that is a great bit of utility towards mid to take care of UA. Dale flashed up using all of these vulnerables to try and get kills, but it's just too blind.
Oh, wait, look, Spook has gotten 2 with the Sheriff.
Yeah, over towards mid at this point. Might as well just go and twiddle your thumbs and spawn, my friend, because a 1v4 with no dash online.
Yeah, I doubt we see anything crazy. We see the owl drone go up. Rabbit just full. That's like such an ego play.
That's absolutely just stunning.
Because there's no trade potential. It's just like, all right, I have to win this or get info, and I die.
Yeah. And what's the info? He's on site. He's in the back of the site somewhere. Great info.
It's not that they knew that, but they kind of had it. Like they cleared out heaven. They have main control. So where else is he gonna be? Right? It's like the power. It's like playing Sudoku and you've gotten all the other answers off, and it's like, all right, of course it's got to be here.
I suppose, but now things start to get scary. But Hum just looking to try and continue fragging, but that Cosmic Divide, it gets used, and Spook just continuing to cause mayhem out in mid means that this B site, it's all but locked in to the side of ASTANE. Player advantage as well, 5v4. Spook looking to try and find Dale as well.
But I think they heard the drop down from both sides. Dale is there to take the fight, but Spook's been losing it. 6 bullets left, just gets spammed through at such low HP. Rabbit aligning the flash, gets one and dashes out back to safety. Garpa gets one more. And looks like ASTANE's gonna at least take part in this match of, you know, scoring back and forth. Bless goes up. We do see Interscope Dale trying to get something, but it's 1v2 and you don't really have time.
You don't have time. Best thing you can get here is an exit, possibly onto Rue, who's just hopping around, but you don't hear him. And all of a sudden, okay, there's the step, there's the swing. Rue did make a step there, so that was just some reaction.
Hey, Rabbit got the trade though.
Yeah, so save does eventually get punished, but for Interscope, I mean, look at the ultimates, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the Annihilation, Hunter's Fury, the
Kill contract.
I was gonna say the kill contract is gonna be really fun to watch. I kind of want to see Dale just pop it, like super aggro somewhere once they get info on players. But
I mean, listen, if Dale pops that immediately over towards heaven into aim in, that's pretty scary. But instead, it's an Annihilation. It's everything that gets used. Yes, the Annihilation did grab the Yoru clone. And Garpa found Dale in the kill contract.
Oh, wow. That's 2 ultimates burned and completely, like, useless? There's no other word. Like, it's just they didn't do anything.
Nope.
Actually, the opposite. Kill contract did worse because Dale has died as a consequence of it.
Yes. And Yue with an outlaw finds Bless. Now all of a sudden, for ASTANE, you're in a pretty difficult position, but you do still have that Reckoning. So you can use that. You can go kind of find your way onto that site eventually, but are you aware of this flank? Well, yeah, of course Spook is. It was his utility that clawed it out, but you're not aware for 2 double swinging into your vision.
Oh, and at this point, Yue's up top, gets caught by the deadlock utility. Hum's gonna grab them. Yue picks another, and it's just been back and forth and back and forth. And it's been 1 and 1, and sometimes in 1 and 2, and then it doesn't really matter. What matters at the end of the day is they're trading these rounds. This is starting to remind me of Lotus.
Yeah, it was 2, then 3, then 1, then 1, then 2.
Yes.
And then another 1. This is,
well, for now.
Yeah.
And we are about 50 rounds in, so.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we're 10 rounds into this map, but.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just saying, it's been a while. It's been a slug for these guys.
It's been slow. It's been brutal. It's especially if you're Interscope, right? Coming off the back of that 5-13 loss on map 2, right? You really want to try and build something together here. It's just the question of what is more the real concern, and that is a little scary because there's a stack on this B site, and if ASTANE try and go for this, they could find themselves in a bad spot.
Ooh, the numbers are not looking good for ASTANE considering they've been dropping players. This Harbor Wall, I like it, but Dale again, this is the same position that they lost in. Ooh. Garpa goes down, no, before the Kof can come out.
Oh, but Rabbit finds that kill on the Hum, and now it's Destroyer in a 1v2 and finds the kill on the Rabbit to close things out. Interscope, it was close, but when you win the clutch, no one cares because history only remembers the winners.
At this point, it is a matter of a 2-round lead for Interscope or a even playing field on ASTANE's side. ASTANE coming in as the dark horse here. Interscope having a crown to defend. So it means a lot for both of these rosters to win out. And I'd even say for Interscope, with how Sunset played out, I feel like it means a little bit more to them just because of how rough that game was.
Hey, Rabbit, Dimensional Drift immediately in to try and help that Hunter's Fury find a kill, and Destroyer will fall, and Hey, an assist on to Jay is also pretty good too. So now for ASTANE, that A site that's completely rocked open, it's all yours unless Hum can do something in the back line.
Oh, Hum is going there, but I believe it was the neural theft that found him. Dale's got the double before getting taken down. They have the blade storm. It's gonna get planted. I swear they didn't. Was there not a neural theft that came out? The blade storm is here, and Hum gets the clutch for the 7th.
Hurts. Everyone's so heavy.
Again, who cares how close it was for Interscope? Because history only remembers the winners. And Interscope, 2 1v2 clutches back to back is how you close out that half. That is huge to stop any sort of momentum that ASTANE wanted to bring into this round. And now we're coming into a pistol round. And what side are Interscope on?
They're on attack. They should, by all measurable accounts and statistics, win out this pistol, get the potential bonus after the anti-eco, and if they can get the bonus, that's 3 rounds that they have a high likelihood of winning. At least the first 2 is high likelihood. The 3rd one, still up for debate. I would hope that they can win it out, because at least for them, they can keep their crown and keep their heads high.
Spook alone on this B site. Looking to be tested. 2nd letter of the alphabet here, and what a swing off the cage! Brilliant play by Spook, and looking for a 3rd, and he finds it! Oh,
No
get the
way.
ace! Get the ace!
Oh, okay, that was, you know what? I don't think Bless was going for it because but they just shot as well to help. I don't. After such an intense game, to not see the ace is just kind of sad. It's just like purely disheartening.
Bless, Bless needed the kill. Okay, 7 and
Of
11.
course.
He's trying to frag his way back in.
Goes there. This goes here. Oh, this is a nice spot.
He's going for a quick stop.
Yeah.
Little pit stop type scoreline.
Yep. Well, anti-eco now. Actually, defender 1 pistol round, by the way. Just realized, so makes it
They
4-2. But if you find a kill, an opening kill on the side of Interscope, who cares that you lost the pistol? Again, it's all about this 2nd round. But thankfully, Garpa and Bless, they stabilize things for ASTANE. They don't want to lose this anti-eco. Mid round, rotate to mid from Interscope?
Seems like it. They do not have. Oh, they have the info on Bless, but I was gonna say they do not really have much to work with here, do they?
Oh. Okay,
Bless was like, they heard us talking. They're like, we have the ability to get kills other than just the ones that are pretty fair and easy. And Dale's the last player here. I think they're gonna just
Run him down with an Ares.
Like, there's no way.
Running them down with an Ares, run them down Rue was not what I was expecting, but I'm kind of glad for it. Look at the shot. Whoop. Oh, so good. I love it. That's what you want to see, though, from ASTANE, right? You want to see that clean anti-eco, build some economy into this round. Things are now tied up 7-7. It's like, who cares about those last 2 clutches at the end of last half? They don't matter. We care about this half and what we've done so far. And now you're putting together a pretty decent bonus round here, right? Rabbits on a Vandal. You have still a couple Guardians and a couple others slightly heavy weaponries.
And Ares as well, just spam things through. Honestly, I'm gonna agree here. At this point as well, oh, Rabbit's got the lineup potentially here as well, but no, the timing is there for Destroyer as they take down the Rabbit. Bless is in the corner hoping for a pre-fire, but they don't find it. Destroyer's gonna grab Garpa instead.
Yeah, and just like that, UA finds Rue. Sure, there's that trade from Spook, but ultimately, it's a 2v5 now. But hey, good shot from Bless. Things can actually look up from here, but it's still a 1v2 that Spook has to conquer, and Jay is ready for it every day of the week. That's the attackers of Interscope winning that round, making sure that ASTANE can't pick up a bonus.
Of course, they don't want to give. Why would they give them any room, any leg to stand on? They got it back 7-7, and I talked about it. Like, Interscope had the potential here to win the pistol and the bonus, and the anti-eco, to then have a very strong lead in this. But because they didn't, it's a lot tighter. It's not only one round, but also this is a rifle round going into it where they have to buy up. There's some light shields and light utility for the Interscope roster, whereas ASTANE should be going into this full force, full economy.
They do have essentially the difference of about 25 HP per player. That'll be something nice, but you can see ASTANE, they really don't want to take that much of a headway over towards main. They're like, yeah, we'll give it up. We'll let Interscope just take that space. And we can kind of play from the back of the A site. Jay is here lurking and actually has found a gap out of the smoke, but Garpa was holding it that whole time.
It's just a fake. The drone goes out and it's going to confirm that it isn't reality as Bless takes the fights towards mid. It's going to confirm the reality that these guys are not going to be locking themselves onto the A site. Rue has this hold though. The potential is there. Please don't whiff this. It's going to work in their favor. Interscope now gets to a 3v3.
Get to that 3v3. They have that dart going in towards Link, and Hum is on a rampage, takes care of Rabbit, and now Garpa, they have so much to do and not enough bullets to do it. A rampage from the Jet of Interscope, the stand-in. Just like that. A 1v2 for that lone Cypher in Spook on ASTANE. Something tells me Interscope might be staring down the barrel of 9.
They are separated, so they have to win their ones here. But it's not impossible nor improbable since they are duelists to have that sort of aim and confidence. The whiff comes through Spook to isolate and find. It's left up to Hum. And Hum has the timing here. They just need to wait out the clock as much as they can. And it works for the stand-in. The stand-in finds the fourth. Hum is going to grab it. And that gives them 9-7 on the board.
Only brought enough for me.
This is great for Interscope, right? Because not only are you coming into this round with the economy advantage, ASTANE kind of pushed down to some bare bones buys here, you also have those ultimates, right? You have the Blade Storm for Hum, should you need it for whatever reason. You have Dale with the kill contract that you can use to isolate a player on a retake. You have a lot of options here. It's really just about how you choose to use them.
Oh, look, they're just walking up here. It's a bloodbath off the start. And it's working out in ASTANE's favor. ASTANE having 2 players up into it's going to leave UA in a 1v2. And it's been an eco, but it could work for them.
You see UA getting that plant down, and now 1v2, but you're going to get cornered here. There's so much for you to do. You're pinged out. You're teleported. They know where you went, UA. How do you choose to play this?
I think you just play the timing.
What you hope for, but you're going to get swung from both sides. You can see you're so focused on Rue that Spook can swing in, but he misses the shot, and now it's a 1v1. Rue's going to swing from the same side, but you're aware, and you get it. UA, what a clutch.
10-7. They've just won 3 rounds in a row, and honestly, if you win the rifle rounds, it's all that matters. It was a slog fest at the start, but they managed to bring it back. It was looking like a potential victory and an upset from from ASTANE. Bro, I think I am as cooked as some of these players are because it is stressing me out and getting not only reading the names but also with the amount of pressure that I'm feeling. ASTANE, right? They are currently 10-7.
Ult check. Interscope. All 5 ults on the board. Being able to use that Blade Storm to frag out over towards B while the rest of the team can just focus on this A site. Oh, kill contract.
Oh no. Talk about the forced ult.
Yeah, Rabbit gonna fall to Dale, and that means that this A site does annihilations, and Garpa will get taken out. And you can see that Rue is the next to fall like that. And now it's a 2v3, as Bless and Destroyer could be the next 2 to trade bullets, but actually grouping up. They're buying time for ASTANE to rotate in. And now you can see Bless fragging out from heaven.
He's going to send these guys straight there as well. Bless is now single-handedly winning this for them. Dale goes down to the 4K. Bless brings it back. The deficit slowly being bridged. And ASTANE needs this. I was talking about the pressure earlier, and now they've gotten under control. And so many ultimates, by the way, Interscope has used to bring back something you mentioned. Alt check. ASTANE now has 3 really solid ultimates, not only for retakes, but also just to stall and deny. Information to be gathered for 2 of them, especially the Dimensional Drift and the Reckoning from Harbor.
Right there.
That was a great round. A gift from Bless for ASTANE, but it's really, once again, about how you choose to use these ultimates. Do you save them for a monumental retake, or do you try and hope for some frags, considering it's supposed to be an eco for Interscope?
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Didn't they have some weaponry, though?
They do. They have a couple Vandals here and there, with mostly Sheriffs. Hunter's Fury out from Interscope that actually doesn't really find any tags. But there is a Rabbit, though, with that Dimensional Drift alongside the Reckoning. Could cause potential for a bunch of havoc as Ruined Rabbit just continue to frag about. It's now just Dale dead on the ground.
And the 8 becomes 9, and the 9 becomes something more. The score lines are even and up here, and look, they still have they have the Cosmic Divide, such an impactful ultimate. I literally talked about the Dimensional Drift and the Reckoning, and now I'm so happy that they left this Cosmic Divide for us, because that could provide such a good retake to get them space.
Right? You can, especially over towards that B site, you know how impactful that is to just block off any sort of spam that we've seen from B main. None of that would matter if you put Cosmic Divide up, it just blocks it all. So there is kind of that pressure for Interscope of, you know, how do you get that Cosmic Divide out before it, you know, can hit that B site? Instead, they've opted for mid, taking a new approach to an old problem, and that Judge from Dale, that'll do the trick to open things up.
Bless is gonna get 2 more immediately on it. Rabbit gets 1 as well onto Dale. Interscope now has only 2 players as ASTANE is looking to get double digits on the board. Oh,
looking to tie up double digits, but Hum is a fragger at the very least, and Jay can provide some clutch moments himself. So in this 2v2, there's absolutely still a lot of room to work around, especially considering this crossfire from mid hasn't been established just yet. It's Bless who could get caught out, but Hum doesn't check the corner, and Bless gets that kill, and now it's Jay, 1v2, does get caught out by Spook, and just like that, you mentioned the scoreline, but it's double digits for everyone.
Double digits, and it is heating up. An alt check, as you like to call it. There's a Hunter's Fury and a Neural Theft available. ASTANE is just racking up these really solid alts as Interscope has kind of fallen behind.
This goes here. Oh, this is a nice.
Yeah, there's none of those impactful, powerful ultimates on the side of Interscope, whereas ASTANE, right? Talked about the Cosmic Divide a little bit. We've seen Rue have some really, really good plays with that Hunter's Fury. A lot that ASTANE can work with here, especially on a map like Abyss. And you can see, again, another Hunter's Fury out towards a main. It finds 2, plus an extra tag for the road, but Hum looking to try and regain. Yeah, that's 2 back as a response, so even numbers, but Shock Dart just for the lull.
I mean, Rue's on for the 3-piece. They have the potential to get some more. Bless is going to block off the sight lines as Hum's going to push in. Spike just being tapped, being teased to hopefully bait out ASTANE, but it's not going to work. They fall back and regroup before they take the site.
All quiet. You don't want to be the first to make a mistake here on either side, and Hum's going to swing in right into the crosshair of Bless, and that crosshair's been hitting ever since he locked Astra, but UA's been pretty good too. Is he good for a 1 versus 3? No, he's not. The countdown double faces there from ASTANE, and that means they're back in the lead.
And also a 4K for Rue.
Yeah.
4 in a row picked up. Honestly, this would be very good time for a timeout. I haven't said this all game because they've had pretty okay timeouts so far, but just to kind of like 4 in a row, it's about to be a broken buy for you guys. Like, are you really running this full buy up? Are you going to be, the next round, you're going to have a really bad economy if you do so. Yeah, maximum loss bonus, but
You don't want to play for OT. You want to try and force things back your way, but you still have this Cosmic Divide on ASTANE, and you still have Spook on the site, looking to try and frag out whenever ready, and you can see he and Bless are there, looking to try and absolutely dominate. They want to close things out now. Sure, you find that kill under Rabbit, but Destroyer, how much can you do when there's 2 Vandals facing you down?
Oh, I think it's just kind of over. There is an annihilation, so you can't discount it fully, but I'm gonna say it's over because it's just the positioning and the prowess we've seen Bless been playing with. They just hit their shots here, and that's gonna get us to match point 12 to 10. If I wouldn't even say a timeout is gonna save him here, because like they should have taken it the previous round. They needed to rethink their strategy.
Let's see now.
I mean, let me try and spin some copium, right?
Okay, go for it.
Annihilation on Deadlock, kill contract on ISO. There's some fragging potential into the site that you can potentially use to set up a post plant for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
There's something there for Interscope, right? You're also 1 orb away from the Blade Storm, and we know that Hum has been nothing but a fragger. So that kill contract gets used. If Dale can find this kill, that would be huge, but of course...
no. I mean, have they been winning their kill contracts? So it feels like more often than not.
50-50.
They haven't been. I want to get a stat on that at some point, because at this point it just feels like they haven't been winning. Destroyer's going to get that plant down. It does give them some space in a dimensional drift to counter the previous ultimates we saw, as well as the chip damage done with the shock dart. Hum's going to find the first. Lou with the trades. It's back and forth. Gets another. Destroyer finds himself a bullet in the face, and that's going to leave Interscope with the last player standing. There's that Cosmic Divide at the perfect timing. No information Rabbit uses to their advantage.
And that's it. Like murder, she wrote. 13 to 10 on map 3, the closest map we had all series long. Results in ASTANE taking things away after a rough map 1 against Interscope. They close things out, and that means the undefeated team of Interscope has fallen at the hands of ASTANE.
The crown, chalet on the ground. And hey, I will say the Dark Knight rises, and the Dark Knight becomes someone that we know, someone we could see ASTANE making themselves I wouldn't say a top contender yet, because they still have some more rounds to win and some games to play that they need to catch up on. But if they played just as good as this in their other matches, I have a feeling that they should be at the top of this group in the future.
Listen, if this is your first impression, and I think ASTANE has definitely left a mark. So you have to give credit where credit is due to Bless in that third map. I think just absolute performance shift compared to what we saw out of him in those first 2 maps. Coming into map 3, picking the Astra, a character that you're not really expecting to be, a heavy fragger, comes out 25 and like 16. Like that's pretty incredible.
Now, the only thing I can think of, it's a shame no one has said that they left a stain on the reputation of Interscope.
I said they left a mark.
It's got a little tide. You got to get the tide stick. I mean, Group B, that's gonna be it for the day. Interscope, I just feel rough because that middle map was so tough, and then they had to find themselves a substitute. And I wonder how this map would have played if they just had the rest of their team. Rilakuma was such an impactful player, and it's not to say that Hum hasn't been as an impactful player, but it feels like, once you have a group with your team, it's more than just like, oh, it's impact. It's also just like the team synergy, and when you swing off of it, if you pop a sub in there, it just never quite sits right, from what it seems, or it just does the entirely the opposite, and the sub solo carries and just absolutely dominates.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's best if we leave the what ifs to Marvel. I think that means that you and I need to call things out for the day. because this is it for today. There is going to be more games in the future, right? There is another game planned for later on this week, and you don't want to miss that because that is going to be a crazy game. But unfortunately, for Nerds and I, this is where things shall rest. So thank you all so much for tuning in today, and we will see you all later this week and next week for some more group stage Luxe series action.
Follow, follow, follow.
You're pretending that you like somebody else, like you got boys waiting in line to take you home. But tell the truth, you spend the night alone. Let's be alone. So why don't we stay out to the morning light? 'Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself?